I get a lot of people from other countries, and especially the UK, just saying, oh, how easy is it to run a business as a woman in Dubai? And, do you get frowned upon because, Dubai is such a man kind of run country. And I think the whole women empowerment thing has come on so much in the last few years. And I just think in Dubai, it's really strong and really powerful. I think they really do care about women in business over here.
Hello and welcome back to the Kelly Lumber podcast. I'm your host, business mentor, personal brand and style expert who's on a personal mission to inspire you. Not just you, a minimum of 5 people a day. That is my goal. To make sure or just to encourage someone to take action, do something different, and just show up as the best person that they aspire to be. And in this episode, it's no different. Brought to you another really cool female guest. Her name is also Kelly. She's a seasoned entrepreneur and investor. Not only that, a company director and brand ambassador who is all about empowering other business owners to unlock their success. She's been based in Dubai for the past 13 years and balances business roles along with being a mum to 3 boys, one very little as well. And under her stylish wing of businesses, she's a director of a media group, PPMG. And this is where she runs modelling and promotions for that business. And she also invests in a number of different young, dynamic lifestyle brands. And she's really passionate about investing into new businesses, and especially ones that want to achieve greater visibility and grow their customer database in the UAE. So she talks about balancing family and business and the most common misconception about doing business in the Middle East. Let's listen to the show. Welcome to the show, Kelly. It's so good to have you.
Hi, thanks, Kelly. Nice to chat to you today.
It's I've not done a podcast where I've had the same name. Hi, Kelly. Hi. So this is going to be interesting. So we've only just met recently, but we've actually known and followed each other on social media for a while. And then when we did meet, I was like, right, we need to get on the podcast. I want to know more about what you're up to. And that kind of brings us to today. So maybe if you can share with the listeners a little bit about, your journey. You've been in Dubai now, for the past 13 years, is that right?
Yeah, 13 years in Dubai, moved from Scotland actually to start a job as a PA. And then, 13 years later, I'm a director of about 4 businesses, and I am now a mother of 3 boys and a wife to Darren.
Nice. So where were you in Scotland?
So I started off in Edinburgh actually, and then I moved to Glasgow, bought a house in Stirling, and I was there for about 8 years.
We were talking about that when we actually caught up, because my mum was out when we last spoke.
Yeah.
Saying how much you love Scotland. So what made you leave Scotland to come to Dubai then? Was it a job opportunity or you just wanted to travel?
Yeah, it was a job opportunity. So I'd been in Scotland for 8 years. I'd worked for the same company for about 10 years. And I was just at that point in my life where I was single. I fancied a change. I got offered a job by my landlord actually when I lived in Scotland. He was setting up a real estate company to buy. I needed a PA. So I was just like, fine, let's have a change. So I moved over. That job didn't actually work out. It didn't transpire in the end quick enough. So then my adventure and my journey started, something completely different.
So you get here, the job doesn't transpire. So do you decide to stay and start looking for something else, or what happens?
I did. I basically gave myself a month to find a job. Otherwise, I'd have to go back home. And lucky enough, randomly, I got a job to start up a modelling and events agency for another couple who they both worked full time, but they needed someone to come in, set the company up from scratch. So I did it completely out my comfort zone. I had no idea what I was doing, but it went really well. And the company was a huge success. And then, that's how I started.
So you ended up working for them. So when did you take the plunge to start your first business? Which one was it? The events business, modelling and events?
Yes, the modelling and events company. So basically, just before the crash, I think it was, or was it just after? I think it was just after the crash, because during the crash, unfortunately, the 2 people that owned that company got made redundant. So they had to kind of come on board and live off what we were making. So it didn't work out. So then I decided to go it alone and set up on my own. And yeah, here we are.
So that was the first business. And then how have the other businesses transpired? So maybe give a bit of a backstory as to the other businesses that you've invested in and how they've kind of organically happened, I guess.
So Gym Clothing, which is my baby, really, they came to me as an ambassador. So I worked with them, with Jamie and Max, for about 6 months, I think, before they were looking for an investor. And I love the brand. It's such a great brand, and just their story and their passion for it really, really got me excited. And then I was thinking, I'd probably be the perfect investor because I'm so passionate about the brand. I really believe in the brand. So that's where that started.
And then the next one on from that?
Next one from there is Nude. My business partner is Astrid. And again, another incredible brand that I invested in. And then after that came Thomas Royal, which is a swimwear brand. And sorry, I totally got distracted there.
Yeah, let's just go back about Nude, because I want to, and I'll cut that out. For the listeners, they'll want to know a little bit more. So how did that connection, how did you know her? Like maybe go into that. So maybe go the second business.
Okay, the second business I invested in is a company called Nude. It's actually my husband's lawyer, that it's his wife that owns Nude. And we met over a lunch and she was talking to me about the products, and I tried them. And it was just incredible. And I could see the vision and, the numbers and how well she'd done in the States. And she was, again, looking for an investor and someone to really partner up with to scale the business. So that's when I came on board.
And then you've got a third business that you've invested in.
Yeah, Thomas Royal. So Thomas Royal was another one where I love the products, and my children wear the products. Still trying to get my husband to match with them, but we posted and we were ambassadors for them for a while, and we bumped into them in London. We bumped into them in Dubai, the owners of Thomas Royal, and she came up to me on the Palm, and she was like, "Oh my God, I follow you on Instagram. Well, your kids wear my shorts." So I think they were wearing them at the time. And then we got chatting. She needed an events modeling agency to have some models do a shoot for her while she was over here. So we did that for her. And then a year later, after talking for so long, they're looking for an investor and someone to launch their business in the UAE. So that's when I came on board.
So that's the fourth one. Any other little businesses lurking somewhere in the background, or is that those are your priorities at the moment?
I mean, that's it for now, but I'm always looking for other opportunities and other businesses to get involved in, all the time.
So how involved do you get into businesses in terms of it's challenging enough. You've run your own business, you've had it to focus on that. How do you then manage to devote time to each of them? How involved, how does all that happen?
I mean, to be honest, I'm super hands-on. I think you have to really enjoy or be passionate or love the businesses that you get involved with. So as with all of them, I think I spend the same amount of time on them each week, building the brands, pushing them forward. So yeah, super hands-on. I wouldn't just invest in a company just for, monetary gain if I wasn't, interested and wanted to be, part of the process.
So how you've got 3 kids, you've got 4 businesses that you invest in. How do you make the most of your time? How do you?
I mean, this is probably the most asked question. It's just balance. It's a lot of planning, and it's balance. I make sure that I plan, my weeks in advance, and just having a good balance. I mean, I don't ever stop. I do sleep, but I don't stop. But yeah, if you want to, you can find the time.
Yeah. So talk me through that planning process, because I think there's people out there that have got one business and maybe no kids, or a business and a couple of kids that are struggling with that balance. So what are some tips, and maybe talk through your routine and how you do it? Do you sit down on a Saturday or a Sunday and plan everything out? Do you do it once a month? How does that actually look?
No, I think I keep it simpler. I think I really love this Prickly Pear diary that I got. It's a 90-day planner. So you're not over stretching yourself with a year diary, but I love to write things down. I love to highlight. I'm not one of those ones that can put notes and stuff in their phone. I have to physically write it down, tick it, cross it off, highlight it. Love that.
So you've got a highlighter in every handbag, have you?
Pretty much, every time, everything's got a different color. But I've always been super organized, I think, and that really helps. But every Saturday I plan my week ahead. And don't I try not to, like, my friends laugh at me because I write everything down so I never forget. But yeah, I think a week in advance is enough. It's enough not to like stress you out thinking about how much stuff you've got to do. I think a week in advance, you know what you're doing. And then sometimes I have a day where it's just clear and I'm like, okay, I'll take one day for myself or half a day for myself. But by the day before, it always gets filled up.
Oh, so when you do get the chance to have some time on your own, what would you do? Work out, or
probably just spend it with the children. I mean, I work out every morning with my trainer, so I always have that time in the morning, which is really, really important for me. But yeah, if I do get spare time not working, then I do like to spend it with the baby.
Yeah, because you've got one that's still quite little, don't you?
Yeah, he's 6 months now.
Oh, lovely. So what I'm curious to know, like, all these businesses that are investing in, is there like a common theme that's like a challenge that you've noticed that they're all going through, and it's something that you fixed? Or, you know, what are some of the challenges that you faced in investing businesses over the past sort of 10 years?
I wouldn't say there was a pattern. I mean, with Gym Clothing, that was born and it's growing in the UAE. With the other two, I think the challenge for me, and you know what I really wanted to get my teeth into, was the fact that they were a new brand in the UAE. So it was to launch it in the UAE, and for me, that's always challenging, but also, you know, fun, just to see how everyone, you know, how they receive it. But there's always challenges, I think, in any business. It's just, I think after doing it once or twice, you learn, you know, what not to do and how to overcome certain things.
And what's kind of on the plans for 2022? We're in a new year. What are you focusing towards?
I'm really going to push the Thomas Royal brand, because I think obviously the weather in Dubai is amazing most of the year. So I think January we're going to team up with a local artist who's incredible. And she's actually designed some of our Dubai exclusive range for Thomas Royal, which is going to be really fun. So I'm going to look to do some really cool events at beach clubs and fashion shows, and that's going to be really fun. That's a really cool collab that I'm looking forward to. So yeah, really push Thomas Royal, really work hard on the nude in the UK, because that's going really well. So I need to keep on top of that. And then Gym Clothing, really just to expand as much as we can with Gym Clothing and get some new designs out.
What, you know, you're talking about pushing like brands out and you know, getting them more sort of visibility. What has been an example of a really good marketing strategy you've used for one of your brands?
I don't particularly work with influencers that much, but I think it all depends on your target audience. Like, obviously the UK's audience is completely different to the UAE audience, but it's about the team that you have. We've just employed a really amazing team in the office from London that's come over to do all of our marketing and our social media and stuff. So I'll be interested to see what they come up with. But it's always something. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there. Is that in-house, the team, or is that an external team you have?
Everything we do is in-house, which I think is one of the key things. And I think I'm really lucky to have that. We own a company called Commerce, which basically we have our own payment gateway. We obviously create the websites ourselves. We have our own marketing team. We have our own design team. We have our own promotional team. We obviously have our own models. We have our own photographers, and so everything we do is in-house. So we don't have to outsource anything. So obviously that keeps the costs down, I think, a fair bit. When you're building a brand and you're trying to get the brand out there, all these things, marketing stuff, they cost so much money when you're paying out for them. But if it's all in-house and they're doing it over a lot of brands, it's a lot cheaper.
So marketing strategy, your best marketing strategy is down to, you saying, the team that you have to execute it. Is that right?
100%, yeah. They're an amazing team. They're all quite young, so they're really edgy. I really think that you have to come up with, so many different ideas, because in Dubai there's events all the time and they're quite the same. So you have to really think outside the box. And these guys are really young, hip, so much more trendy than I am. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they're going to come back with.
Oh, so you've planned loads of events. You've been to loads of events. I'm just curious then, what's been your best event that you've ever been to in Dubai?
Oh my God, Kelly, that's such a hard question. There's been so many over the years.
what stands out that's wowed you, or what did they do, or how did it make you feel, or?
I mean, honestly, I didn't go to it, but I saw the Hermes event, and that looked really cool. I thought that was an amazing concept.
Which one was that
I
one?
haven't seen the Hermes one.
Wait, which one?
Hermes.
Out in the desert, or the more recent one? Or?
No, the really recent one where they used an aeroplane kind of Emirates style.
Ah, okay. So anything that you've been to, like I remember going to a fabulous Tiffany event. There's been so many. Royal Mirage is an amazing one when they pulled all the fireworks, and I always think you can tell the quality of event by the type of champagne that they start serving you.
Oh god, yeah, 100%. And what gets me in Dubai is when they say, "Would you like some champagne?" and it's like Prosecco. You're like, yeah. Fooling me.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the other things that I was curious to talk about was something that I've seen new come up on your social media, which is the Real Businesswoman of Dubai. Is that right? Did I say
Real Businesswomen? Yeah. It's basically, yeah, I was cast for another TV show in Dubai that's currently being filmed. And after a long process and a few meetings, I decided a couple of weeks ago not to do the show. But they really wanted to showcase, apparently, the businesswomen in Dubai. Even though I didn't feel that was really entirely true, that that's what they wanted to do. It kind of got me thinking that, there's so many reality TV shows at the moment, and, they're all focused on kind of like not building the women up, not empowering women, and not really about the business or, the good side. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think showing real life is good, and the good, the bad, the ugly, the highs and the lows, because life isn't perfect, but without tearing each other down, without the gossip. So then I decided to create a YouTube channel for now called The Real Businesswomen of Dubai, Business Without the Bullshit.
And what's happening with that? So what is that? Is it a community? Like, is it, events? Is it a course? Like, what is it?
So basically, it will be a YouTube channel. We've launched a teaser, and we had an event the other day. We're going to launch our episode 1 on the 5th of January.
Okay.
It's basically, it's a 15-minute long episode every other week for us to show, the real lives of the real businesswomen in Dubai.
Nice.
And we're going to do it bi-weekly, and then the week in between that, we're going to do a interview with another businesswoman, to help promote, inspire, motivate, and give some tips on, different businesses and different issues maybe they've had to overcome, and just give a platform really for the real businesswomen of Dubai instead of, just women in Dubai.
So a sort of so eventually it will be sort of it's a show, but it's going to be a community, I guess, where people can come for advice, support, help, questions, I suppose, a resource. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've had a few people reach out to us, and in the last 6 months, there's so many different shows that have gone on in Dubai, people trying to film, and we're hoping, one of them wants to pick it up. So, we're going to do one season of around 8 episodes, and then go from there.
Cool. What has doing business in Dubai taught you versus kind of being elsewhere? Like, is there, because I kind of feel it's a city that's kind of anything is possible. I love the energy that it creates.
Yeah.
No,
I totally agree. I think the biggest thing it's taught me in Dubai doing business is patience. You really need to have a lot of patience over here. But no, I think you're right. You can really, it is the city of dreams. And I think it's a much easier place to start up a business, especially as a woman. There's not so much red tape as there would be in the UK with licenses and stuff. It's quite easy to do here. And I do.
The other way around. Like in the UK, for example, you could start a business, but you don't have to go and shell out 20 grand or 15,000 dirhams to start up that business. I think, is it not easier the other way? I mean, I think there's more opportunity here to start something, but
yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, I've always had quite a seamless process when it comes to starting the businesses with the whole licenses and stuff. It's, you have to pay, but it's quite a seamless process. But yeah, maybe it's just the opportunities here are a lot bigger, and there's a lot more, and they come around a lot more often, I suppose.
Well, there's so much. I mean, we've just celebrated the jubilee of the UAE. There's still so many things, services, products that aren't here that kind of give that. Whereas I suppose in UK, US, Europe, there's a lot more competition
Yeah,
to be able to do that. But it's one of the things that I know people say to me when I'm mentoring them, for example, oh, I wouldn't have to pay this in, elsewhere. Like, it's a big outlay when you're maybe not making money yet or something for a license.
Yeah, true. I think maybe I'm just used to those costs because I started those businesses here. So it's always just kind of been a given. I haven't started a business in another country, so I'm used to it.
Yeah. What's the biggest misconception, would you say, in doing business in Dubai or in the line of work that you're in, the different investments that you've got? What's a sort of misconception?
I get a lot of people from other countries, and especially the UK, just saying, oh, how easy is it to run a business as a woman in Dubai? And, do you get frowned upon because, Dubai is such a man kind of run country? And I think the whole women empowerment thing has come on so much in the last few years. And I just think in Dubai, it's really strong and really powerful. I think they really do care about women in business over here.
Yeah, when I first started my business, I'm 17 years in business. There wasn't the support networks that are now. There wasn't the networking groups, the community, and just the sheer volume of women that are actually bringing business and opportunities. But it's so interesting you say that because, people have this assumption that, Dubai is like where they think Dubai is in Saudi Arabia and, well, how do you drive and meet your clients? I get in my car, but you can't drive. And it's like, well, yes, you can. And well, you can't drink. And there's just that's so much that misconception, I guess, about doing that. It would be a good wee video. I should maybe think about adding that into
it doesn't help, I think, with the UK as well, because they'll be like, even like that top you're wearing now, they'll be like, yeah, but you're not allowed to show your shoulders. I'm like, it's changed a lot, guys. You need to catch up.
I think it always could. I would never have kind of gone to the mall in the early days of living here in a vest top. Like I would never do that. But to be fair, it's actually so cold, you'd never do that anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
People are always like, why are you taking a jumper to the cinema? It's bloody freezing. Where can people find you? What's the best sort of contact address? I know you're quite active on Instagram. Are you the same on all platforms? Maybe share your details on that.
Facebook, probably not so much. We use it a lot more for the modeling agencies, just for the jobs and stuff. But Instagram and obviously now YouTube, our channel's up there. I've got a LinkedIn. My PR manager manages that for me, though, because I'm not very good at it. Twitter, I don't use really, but I've got one. TikTok, God knows how to use that. I keep getting told, you have to go onto TikTok. I'm like, I can't do it.
I have an account as well, but it's really random. I've got like 5 videos on it, and one video's got, I don't know, 300,000 views, and it's a picture of it's a video of a shark in the Maldives. Yeah, I've got all these other things on it that are like style and business related, and they don't have the same. So what's the full name that people can find you on social and the handle names?
So my website is kellyhodgkin.com and my Instagram is Kelly Marie Hodgkin.
Perfect. Any parting piece of advice for someone out there that you'd like to share?
I would say, and I'm going to try and say this word, don't procrastinate.
Procrastinate,
that's the one. The biggest thing that I think with the women that come to me is that they overthink things. I think if you're going to do something and if you love it and if you're passionate about it, it will work. You put the effort in, you put the time in, and you put the love in, it will work. So don't overthink stuff. Don't procrastinate. Just do it. Just go for it.
Love that. No, people they wait for the perfect time till the kids are older, till they move, till they've got the job, till they're more clearer in the head, and it's just then the perfect time just never happens.
It's gone. Yeah, exactly.
No such thing as perfect, that's for sure. It's been great speaking to you and learning a lot more about what you're up to. Wishing you the best of luck for 2022, and I will see you soon at another event, hopefully with good champagne.
Yes, fabulous. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Take care. Bye. Thank you so much for being here and listening to this episode today. I'd love to know what inspired you the most. Was there something that was said? Was there a real takeaway that you're like, do you know what? I'm actually going to go away and implement this. Then if there is, head over to Instagram because I hang out there and I really want to hear what it is you say. Come and leave me a DM. Tell me the best part, or even better, share it with a friend and inspire them too. We are growing weekly and it's all down to you. Thank you so much in advance. Reviewer of the week actually left this message and it made me so happy. Awesome podcast. Every episode gives me an insight into how I can grow my business brand and manage my life around this. Can't wait for the next episode. That was from DKUB2387. So they mean so much. If you haven't left a review yet, then please do head on over to Apple Podcasts, rate and review. And don't forget, be inspired and keep following your dreams. Until next time, bye for now.